Hey there everybody, welcome back to another Diablo 4 video. I'm Captain Beefy. This is the Game Vault. We're going to talk about aspect farming today and how to get aspects that you want for your gear. So a couple different ways we can do it. Let's cue up the music and then we'll talk about it. Alright, first off, you can farm the various aspects from the different dungeons around the map. As you can see here, it's been a labor of love for me. I've collected all 115 aspects. This was a lot of work, but I got the benefit of additional renown for it as well. So if I was looking to get renown and gather all the aspects, I have them here. Another great thing is these will be available for every character that I start on the Eternal Realm. So as soon as they're able to utilize aspects, I'll be able to actually use these aspects for them. I won't have to go searching for them again with a Barbarian or a Druid or any other character. You can sort through these by pushing the R3 button down, and what this will do is show everything that's just for my class. And then of course, using the R2 button, I can switch between defensive, offensive, resource, utility, and finally mobility aspects, and decide which one that I want to use on a piece of armor or weapon. So how do we do that? Funny you should ask. Practically everything you need to do with aspects, you're going to involve the occultist, and he's easily recognized. You can see the little 3 circles in the triangle up there on the mini-map. That's where he's located in each of the major cities. I don't think you find him in any of the smaller towns. He's just in the larger ones, and there's one in each region. And you can always see the purple light emanating around the house, which is very occultist looking, I guess. So what we'll do is we'll go up to him, and I'm going to show you a couple different things about this guy here. First and foremost, this is how you imprint an aspect, right? So you take something like this set of boots that I have here, and then you can select any of those skills from the Codex of Power that can go on the boots. And that's what I showed you earlier, the ones I farmed from all of the different dungeons. Now, these things are at the lower end of the spectrum as far as the amount of what they can do. Every aspect has a variance to it. It could be from 10 to 30%. It could be from 700 to 1,000. It really depends on the different aspects and all that. The Codex of Power gives you the bottom end of it. So they're great for starting off. They're great for your lower level characters as you're going and progressing through the game. But the real money is by pulling aspects off of legendary items. So for instance, I have a recharging loop here, right? This is on a ring, and you can see the legendary aspect on it. It's in orange down there, and it says, with the star next to it, it says, each time chain lightning bounces off of you, gain 6 out of 4 to 6 mana. So 6 is the highest this can be, right? So if I pull it off of there, I get a preview of it. Cool. I can extract that aspect. Now I've lost that piece of equipment, right? It's gone, but the aspect lives on. And here it is right here under my aspect tab in my inventory. I got a few others in here that I've pulled off. This one is skills deal up to 20% increased damage, which is at the top of the spectrum. This one is 30%. Top of the spectrum, top of the spectrum. All of the, or this one's close to the top, I should say. Damaging an elite enemy grants you a barrier absorbing up to 3147 in damage. This is between 1748 and 3497. It was close enough to the top. That one's going to be a hard one to get, but I will find it eventually. Next up, this one does 50% out of 30 to 50, 20% out of 10 to 20, and 40% out of 30 to 40. So I try to only save the best of the best aspects. The rest of it, I either sell or junk the piece of equipment because it's really not worth it to me. I mean, I find, you know, some of these aspects, and I'll show you my equipment right now, and we'll see how many have things that are imprinted on it. This has something imprinted on it, right? And it's definitely not the best of it. I need Frost Nova gains an additional charge, but the cooldown per charge is 30%. I need to get that down to 30%, and I think I might have a piece of equipment I can pull that off of. So next time I find a good helm, that's what I'm going to do. Here's another one that's not so good. Damaging enemy grants you a barrier absorbing up to 3273. Now, if you remember, that one's going to be traded out, and that's why I have this in here. Because this is going to be a much higher number when it gets imprinted on a piece of legendary equipment. I'm just waiting for a good breastplate to use it on. The gloves, I have something that is already on something else, so the aspect doesn't count for it. I'm looking for the proper aspect to put on a set of gloves, so we're going to ignore that one right now. But here we go. When Deep Freeze is active, you restore 20% of your maximum life and health. This one here is close to the max. This one here is not so good. This one is actually way under. And this is a learning point for me. This was a bad lesson I learned when I imprinted this one. I used a really low level one. This was before I figured out everything that Aspects was about. So again, this is one I want to replace down the road. Make my character so much tougher. I mean, look at that. I'm doing 1200 damage out of between 1800 and 2700 or 2800 almost. So I could increase my damage by mammoth amounts once I find the right staff and then get the right aspect to put on there. This one, taking direct damage, has a 9% chance to reset the cooldowns on your defensive skills. That's at the top. This one's right in the middle. And this one here is pretty close to the top at 1647 out of 1695. So this one's really good. So I've got some work to do, and I've been looking to replace some aspects. You know, it is what it is. So how do you find these aspects? Well, like I showed you there, we found one on that ring that was worth taking off, right? Anytime you get a legendary item, whether it be ancestral, legendary, or sacred legendary, or just regular old legendary, it's going to have an aspect on it. And I got a bunch of them in here. And as you can see, some of these, or actually all of the ones in here, I'm saving. I haven't removed the aspects yet because I'm going to wait until I find the right tool to put them on or the right piece of equipment to put them on. But for instance, like if we want to replace... Oh, let me get over there. If we want to replace our staff, and I've got an 810 power staff, which is getting close to the top. So I need ice spikes for that staff, right? And I don't remember if I have any in here. Let's take a look. Yep, here's one. And this one's at the top, see? But it only says 785 out of 560 to 785. And this is where it's going to get confusing. I know everything's going in circles. It's math. So that is on a 687 item powered staff, right? Or wand, I should say. When that goes onto a staff, it's going to be significantly higher, and especially if the level's higher. And once you upgrade the staff, that deep freeze number will go up. Any aspect that has regular numbers in it, not percentages, can and will increase as you increase the level of the item. So that's only going to go up. So I ignore, you know, I saw the 785 and I'm like, oh, that's junk. But then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's the maximum amount it can get. You know, being that it's a one-handed weapon, it's actually at half what a two-handed weapon would do. So it's, you know, this one's worth looking at. It might not come to pass. It might not be that great, but we'll have to see. I have a feeling it's going to be well worth it. You know, looking at the gloves here, I want to replace my gloves. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that, but in any case, we've got a bunch of them in there. Movement speed for 38% more movement speed, 35 out of 35, 10 out of 20 there, and that is a damage decrease, so you want the lower number on that. You got to be careful looking at these. Most of them you want the higher number, but when it orbits around you but its damage is decreased by 10%, and being decreased by 10% is a lot better than 20, so you want to make sure you get the 10 on that kind of thing. And so on and so forth. So I got a bunch of these in here. And these are all waiting to get extracted. When they're extracted, once again, they're going to look like this. I'm going to have them sitting here in my aspects ready to use. So if I want a wand or if I want a staff or something like that, there's a few different ways to target these things. Now, you can go to Helltide events, and Helltide events occur when you hit World Tier 3. And they occur every other hour, basically, and they run for an hour. And what you do there is you can collect the aberrant cinders while you're in there and go spend them on mystery chests that you find located around the different parts of the Helltide. These chests are clearly marked for the most part, whether or not they are protection chests. And they'll tell you what they are. They'll tell you if they're for pants, if they're for a chest, a helmet, whatever, a one-handed or a two-handed weapon, whether it's jewelry. I don't remember if there's a separate one for rings and amulets or if it's all together. I think it might all be together in one. So if you're looking to target something like that and to either find an aspect or a good piece of equipment to put an aspect on, you can do both things at once by doing that. Any legendaries you find in there will have aspects on them that you can extract, and any rares you find in there, you will be able to put an aspect onto it, turning it into a legendary. So that's something to think about. That's one way to do it. Another way is to go here to the Purveyor of Curiosities and spend your obols. I don't have a full set of obols. I can carry 1,000 of them right now, but like if I wanted a staff, they cost 75 a piece, right? So I can get 9 of them. I'm literally just a few short to get 10. So let's buy 9 staves. So we did that. Let's see what we got out of that, right? So first off, we'll sort them. We got 3 legendaries out of it. And this one, nothing special there. This one, nothing special. That one, nothing special. It's fairly low level sacred. And they're only going to get lower from there. When you auto sort, when you hit that R3 button to auto sort, it automatically puts the highest powered item on the very left hand side. So if you're looking for a certain power level, you can save yourself a lot of time just by looking at this first one. And if that doesn't reach the power level you want, you can just ignore the rest. You know it's all going to be garbage. But we'll show you anyway. 700, 673, 672, 669, 643, and finally 633. So you see how that works? Also, you can complete missions for the Tree of Whispers. This is another great way to target a specific item. In this case, I gathered up, 10 whispers. And if you don't remember the Tree of Whispers, here it is on the southeastern part of the map. And basically you look around the map for these pink and red icons. It'll tell you how long before they expire, and it tells you what you need to do. So, and these things are running constantly. So if you see them and they're about to expire in 2-3 minutes, and you don't want to waste your time doing that. Let them expire and wait for a new batch to come up. And you can look in some areas. You're going to see some that are kind of overlapping a little bit, which is nice. Like this one here: complete an event in the Rusted Sands. Clear the Raider's mine and find the corpse. All 3 of these can be done fairly quickly, and you'll gain 1, 2, 3 little quick grim favors. It takes 10 to unlock the Tree of Whispers and get a cache out of it, but so there's 3 of them right there. Some other things. This one gives you 3 grim favors. This is perform a series of rituals, blah blah blah. You got to go around and locate these different little ritual things and activate them. That one I find kind of annoying. I've done it a few times, but it requires a lot of legwork for 3. Here's another one for 3. Harvest venomous motes from enemies. This one's very easy, actually. Even though, it gives you the same amount for that. All you gotta do is run around and kill things, and they'll have something that drops off of them that you gather up, and it'll keep a tally until you get to 100. And when you get to 100, you put it in a little thing, a little box or whatever, or a little pedestal, and boom, you get 3 whispers. Here's another one where you gotta slay 50 skeletons. Those are real easy. You just run around and kill them. They show up as actually red dots on your mini map, which is great. And one of my favorites is really just doing dungeons. You can just go in and do a dungeon. Dungeons take a little bit of time, but they're fairly straightforward. And if you're not exploring the entire dungeon and trying to get every nook and cranny, you're just trying to get through it, they can be fairly quick. Especially doing whisper dungeons, because you're not doing nightmare dungeons, so not everything's really high level and crazy and trying to kill you. You just go in there, rip through it real quick, and gather up 5 whispers. So 2 dungeons will do it in a heartbeat. You can see we got one right here, and got another one right up here. You just fast travel over here, boom, head up to the Forbidden City, do that dungeon, go down to the other one, boom, done. Go to the Tree of Whispers and trade in your whispers. So we do have a stash right now. We're going to open it up real quick. I think I got... So what they offer you doesn't offer you it offers you a choice of 3 different caches. You don't have control over what they're going to be. So in my case, I know I was, I picked pants just for the hell of it, but this is what a typical cache will drop for you. I got 3 sacred pairs of legendary pants, a pair of fur-lined pants, crystals, and all that other good stuff. So lots of good stuff in there, right? And looking at these pants, let's go ahead and sort again to see what the highest level is. Where the hell did that come from? So, yeah, not so good. And 20%, 2.5, not good either. Oh, we got 1 dagger and 2 sets of pants. They'll give us a dagger by some weird thing. So that's how that works. When you're using the obols, though, going back to the obols, I did a video on obols the other day showing you how to target farm. I recommend going back and looking at that video because there is a tool available, and I will leave a link to it in the description here that will allow you to target farm using your obols. What it does is it breaks down each and every potential aspect that you can get in the game, and you can filter it down to your class and then the aspect you want, and it will tell you what piece of equipment will give you the best chance to find that aspect on it. So if you're farming for the aspect, you want to use that tool because it can make a huge difference. In the case something like I got pants, for instance, because I was looking for a specific aspect that shows up mostly on the pants, and once I get that, I'll be happy. Then I can go do something else. So aspects are one of the best ways you can take a rare piece of equipment and make it legendary. And it works with regular legendaries, it works with sacred ones, and it works with ancestral ones. So it will upgrade any of those in a heartbeat. If you found this video useful at all, please leave a like on it down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. I thank you for joining me today. As always, I'm Captain Beefy. We'll be back tomorrow with some more Diablo 4. Until then, peace.